Every now and again, the clouds part and we can see the clash of gods. And today is one such day. Hey guys, we're going to be taking a look at Alfredino leading the forces of the Tomb Kings up against Shudoku and his Norscan legions in a clash of absolute beasts. I'm really excited to hop into this one. It is ODM taking on ODM. And you know when Alfredino busts out the Tomb Kings, it's going to be one wild game. So let's hop in here and check out his build. We do have triple skeleton horse archers leading the charge, backed up by a couple more horsemen as well. I like this little combo. It's a nice little unit to poke and jab at the Norscans, who of course lack healing and armor, and a little bit of protection as well. Of course, we have a skeleton chariot. The meta right now is very chariot-based, actually, and those skeleton chariots haven't changed too much over the years. People are kind of starting to realise their potential and punch at clearing out chaff and infantry, buying time for some of their bigger constructs to drag down the big meanies of the Norscan forces. We have a load of skeleton spearmen as well, dotted throughout. It's relatively cheap and cheerful as far as the infantry goes, and that's because we have a really juicy investment right here on the double Sphinx. We have the Regiment of Renown Necro Sphinx here on the right hand side, and on the left we have Cetra the Imperishable on top of his stone kitty cat. We'll give him a little neck scratch, though he probably can't feel it. I hope he still appreciates the effort there. He's going to be coming in with the Blessed Blade of Petra. We have the Incantation of Desiccation and Incantation of Protection as well. A good couple of little spells there. Kind of surprised not to see Cursed Blades, but despite that, I think those are the really good spells to bring in this tool set. Man, this Sphinx looks so unbelievably rock and roll. I love the little scorpion riding dirty on top of it. I hope that's where the brain of the operation is, and underneath is just kind of a big husk. So for the forces of the Norscans, I must admit I do have a big special place in my heart for these Viking-esque fantasy warriors. On the right-hand side, we have Norscan Ice Wolves and Skin Wolves, likewise the same pairing on the left-hand side, and double Ferromanticore in the sky, so two nice little strike teams on either side of the formation. Main infantry is going to be Marauder Spearmen and basic Marauders, so again, relatively cheap and cheerful, and very wide. And that's really common at the moment, is bringing not too many expensive troops, so just getting so many of them that you can really envelop your enemy, surround them, and overwhelm them. We do also have some Skin Wolves. 1, 2, 3. We have a Shaman Sorcerer, in fact, so no Famir. Okay. Shaman Sorcerer of Fire coming with Fireball and Burning Head. And then we have a Wulfric the Wanderer coming in with the Hunter Champions as well as his rather nasty boat. And he's actually going to be riding on a chariot here today, which is pretty cool. You don't often get to see him on a chariot. I'm rather interested to see how he performs here today. My god, that shield is absolutely disgusting, but we love everything about it. So without further ado, let's get this battle underway and ready and rumble. So the horse archers are going to be moving forward a little bit, doing a little bit of a poke. It looks like they're actually aiming at the Norscan Ice Wolves at the moment, maybe wanting to start to control the battlefield by taking away the enemy mobility. One of the Manticores has decided to land alongside the Skin Wolves. It's going to have a very fun time up against all the horsemen, although it is going to buy time for the Sphinxes to come over and maybe dish out the pain. And these Manticores need to be very careful to try to escape here, because coming bounding in is the double kitty cat, and the poor Manticore is now rampaged. That is a disaster start for the Norscans, but a lovely burning head actually. Isn't about to roast quite a few of the horsemen here, but that is one dead Manticore. In the main fight, the Norscans have bunched up quite a bit on this right-hand side, mainly due to the fact that the horsemen actually came clattering through with the skeleton chariots, but unfortunately for them, they then get hit by the debuff, the Incantation of Desiccation. Wulfric the Wanderer's not doing too bad though in the middle, already up to 66 kills with a lovely boat going down the line of the skeleton spearmen. And the left-hand flank is where it's at for the Norscans. They kind of went for a spread attack on the right-hand side and left-hand side. It was really balanced, but the Tomb Kings put all of their eggs on this right-hand side, punch the Norscans really hard in the face, but that is going to leave the left-hand side a little bit vulnerable. Luckily for them, though, they have some skeleton chariots who are really doing a fantastic job right now, cleaving their way through the Marauders. Now, I have buffed up chariots quite a bit throughout the kind of course of this video already, but they do take a lot of micromanagement to actually get to work effectively. And you can see they have actually been caught off guard now. Ferromanticore comes charging in with the Skin Wolves, and this could certainly be a dead unit of chariots right now, unless they're able to pull through and back to safety. Luckily, they do have some Overwatch fire coming in from the Skeleton Horse Archers, who are doing a decent job raining down fire at the Skin Wolves as well as these Marauders. A juicy burning head comes down the line, does some good work to those Skeleton Warriors as well as the Spearmen here. Marauders having a pretty good fun time so far. On the right-hand flank here, Wulfric the Wanderer is going all in to try to take down Cetra the Imperishable. I don't know if he wants to do that without Hunter Champions nearby, and the Shaman Sorcerer does the worst 360 no-scope of all time and misses a point-blank range fireball, which just continues to go probably going to make it all the way off the map there. We're about to see a Usekph summon come down, and Wulfric has found himself in between a hard place and a very, very angry, sharp kitty cat place as well. And he's getting dumpstered right now in this fight between the Sphinx and Cetra. We even have the Usekph summon coming in as well. Skin Wolves were looking to overwhelm the enemy whilst their presence was being felt on Wulfric. But yeah, he is desperately trying to get out of there, and he is not having a good day. There's just so many chariots and large entities blocking his path. That could be the end of the Wanderer. On the far side, though, you can see the Norscans having a far better time of it. The skeletons are getting dumpstered at this point, and those chariots in the distance are basically gone at the moment. Ferman's Court continues to fight hard up against the enemy horsemen, but there are indeed some spearmen in support, so he needs to be a little bit careful that our Norscans are rallying to his cries. But the Manticore has rampaged, and has a lot of focus fire coming in from the horsemen. Lovely little juicy burning head is going to kill friend and foe alike, but more foe than friend. And if you're Norscan, I think that is an acceptable loss. Did Wulfric die? That's going to be quite key. No, he's actually alive. He still has 1.5k HP. Not too much when there's so many heavy hitters on the field, but again, not too terrible either. Lovely fireball this time. It does manage to hit Cetra. Unfortunately, he did have the Incantation of Protection active, though, so the Skin Wolves weren't able to follow up and drag him down really quickly. They're certainly trying their best little efforts here. There's something very special about werewolves. I don't know what it is, but they're such cool units. Unfortunately, though, there are arrows from afar, and it looks like they are going to have to fall back here. There's been some really good micromanagement so far with these Skeleton Horse Archers, getting them into key targets. We're rather interested to see their damage value at the end of the day. Wulfric the Wanderer did go toe-to-toe once again. I mean, you've got to say, hey, you've got a lot of heart, Wulfric. You've done some rather brave things today, but going up against those Sphinxes certainly has not pulled into his favour. And it is going to be the big single entities against the world at the moment. There are still some spearmen alive and some horsemen. The chariots are almost spent, though, unfortunately. Farman's Core has managed to rally up in the sky, still has enough HP to come in for some hit and run attempts, and if he focuses down Cetra at the right time, maybe the Norscans can seal victory here. It's a very close game though. Balance power is dead even. There's a bucket ton of chaff still alive here for Norsca. And one thing about the Norscans, the longer they fight, the more enraged and battle-hardened they become. The Spearmen are actually starting to do some nice damage. The Manticore does swoop in, going for that assassination attempt with the help of the Hunter of Champions onto Cetra, who has taken huge damage right now. Manticore trying to seal the deal. Even the Shaman Sorcerer is leading the charge in, popping fireballs left, right, and centre. And the Skin Wolves attempting to claw down the mighty construct. It looks like the Sphinx as well is very beat up. Balance of power is massively in favour right now of the glorious forces of Norsca. But a big terror rout and chain rout, I should say, is going down. All of the Norscans all of a sudden start running. This could be a bit of a disaster. They need to rally, regain their strength, and come back in for one more fight, because the balance of power is still loving them, despite the fact they have one unit not running from the field at the moment, or two, I should say. And it's looking a little bit shady now, as unfortunately the Shaman Sorcerer does get terrified directly into those horsemen, who can pin it in place and look to drag down the kind of only little bit of leadership left for the Norscans. Sphinx is down to 1.4 HP. Cetra himself down to 1.2. They're getting danger low right now. You can see these Marauder Spearmen are currently getting buffed by that Berserker trait, or the Rage, while increasing their leadership and physical resistance. This is such a close scrap. My god, this is amazing. Manticore is, -1 leadership. If that Manticore comes back, it can probably kill Cetra with 1 or 2 lucky RNG hits. Unfortunately, the Shaman Sorcerer is getting bullied right now. Cetra very close to crumbling, but his leadership then gets buffed all the way back up there as he does escape the rage of the Norscans. What a turnaround by the Tomb Kings. That was an insanely close game, but the Norscan leadership, once Wulfric was defeated, simply could not hold on, and it is a Pyrrhic victory there for the forces of Alfredino and his Tomb Kings. Always good to see Tomb Kings and Norscans in action. A lot of players at the moment are saying them and High Elves are far weaker than any other factions in the game, and though I think they are lacking a little bit, I actually think the Tomb Kings do really pack quite a bit more of a punch than most people take into consideration. Now, Norscan are a little bit one-dimensional, but likewise, they do a fantastic job at what they do, and that is being a badass warrior Vikings of legend. Well played to both these champs, Shidoku and Alfredino, two gods of war, and a massive shout out as well for sending this one in. It was a really good fun cast all round. We will hop in to the damage dealt and damage value of all of the units in just a second, but if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up, subscribe as well for more glorious Total War Warhammer content into the future, and comment down below. What did you think of that turnaround there? What do you think of the double Sphinx combo up against Norsca? I really do think it could be a good way to go, as long as you have enough horsemen and chariots to pressure javelins if they are indeed brought to the battlefield. Or simply yell quack down in the comments if you want to just say hello. There are links as well in the description to my Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. Likewise, there is links as well down there to my Discord, where you can submit replays just like Alfredino did. You can get involved in tournaments and events that I host, chill out with over 700 people, vibe, learn Total War Warhammer, see a load of pictures of ducks, and just chat. Honestly, it is really good fun. But back to the battle itself. Search for the Imperishable, the mighty Kitty Cat, I should say, but almost like Kitty Chad there, and warrior god of old. How did he perform? Well, 1,000 damage value isn't that great, to be honest, but he did absorb an insane amount of value as well, and just all those manticores, all the spearmen were focusing him down, and still he did not serve. Good use as well of his incantations of protection to keep him fighting. Now, the spearmen basically just died. These two units performed the best, 620 and 548 damage value. The other ones, unfortunately, did just get run over. The horsemen did okay. I mean, their main job was to protect the horse archers who were still alive at the end of the day, so big thumbs up to those guys. They fulfilled their job. Not bad damage value either, 730 on this middle unit. The other two failing, faring a lot worse, unfortunately. Skeleton Chariots got 780 and 898 damage value apiece. Not bad work whatsoever. 83 and 71 kills, helping clear out the chaff of the Norscans to then enable those single entities to really bring the pain. And that's a good combo, actually. The double single entity and then some cheap and cheerful chariots. The horse archers did pretty good. 400 damage value, 540, 724. Really not shabby considering they were still full health at the end of the battle. The mighty Sphinx itself, 2.7k damage value, over 11k damage dealt. Really gave the business to Wulfric and those manticores when they flew a little too close to the Sphinx. As for Shidoku's forces, I like this build quite a bit. Wulfric the Wanderer on a chariot is certainly something I'm going to try a little bit more now. It turns him into more of an anti-infantry foe than necessarily sniping characters, but if you use 100 champions, that does not necessarily mean Wulfric has to be fighting whatever he's championed. You then let the Manticore swoop in and dish out the damage, and it nearly worked here for Shidoku, taking down Setra to basically no HP. Really good job all round, but unfortunately, alas, it was not enough. Wulfric, though, 1.3k damage value, over 10k damage dealt, 85 kills. Good work to you, champ. Shaman Sorcerer of Fire, of course, Burning Head, always good up against the Tomb Kings. Nearly just shy of 1,200 damage value, not bad whatsoever. The Marauders across the board, of course, got relatively okay kills, not the most damage value, but they just cleared out the chaff of the Tomb Kings and absorbed as much pressure as they could from the single entities to try to buy time for the Skin Wolves and Manticores. Spearmen did okay across the board. The Norscan Ice Wolves are such cool units. I mean, 600 damage value is really impressive. The other one, only 375. Beast of Tashanar as well, not getting their ideal engagements. As for the Manticores, you can see which one got snared early on. Only 6 kills and 142 damage value is certainly a sad sight to see. But the other one on the left performed much better. 895 damage value and nearly sinking its teeth into the undead kind of rotten flesh of Setra the Imperishable, but unfortunately was beaten back. Cat beats bat. You heard it here first, guys. Skin Wolves across the board did some pretty solid damage value. 1,000 here, 1.6 and 766. Not too bad whatsoever. They were kind of their main answer to those single entities, but they have regeneration, and therefore they have a weakness to fire, meaning that every time they did come into battle with the Sphinx, so I believe off the top of my head it does do fire damage, it wasn't going to go too well for them, particularly when Setra pops the Wrath of Batra as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.